Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. You will probably notice that I start this vlog today at the same point where I finished it last time. I came back to Rügen once again for the summer. After 2.5 months I'm back. And I can already spy the sea. Wait, I show you. I think this here is a really nice spot, hiding in the shades. Yeah, it's super warm today, but I like it. It is supposed to be the last real summer day as it is forecasted, the weather here in northern Germany. And yeah, today I just thought I'd come back here for once because I wanted to explore the island a little bit more. Last time, you know, I was running out of time because, you know, everything was so breathtaking, and that's why I spoiled myself with one more beach day for this summer. What else to say? I show you a little bit. Look at this. Isn't it? Oh, it really feels like heaven. But I think I first have to get rid of my backpack, because this is the only downside of hiking, that you always carry so much luggage with you somehow, or at least I do. But I need, you know what, I love to drink like 4 liters or 3 to 4 liters a day. I'm constantly thirsty, so yeah, I have a lot of water bottles to carry. And as I'm sitting here and enjoying this, you know, wonderful beach, I thought I'd take the chance and tell you a little bit about the background of my books and audiobooks. I think I've never talked about this on YouTube, and I think it's time to give you a little bit an idea of what I actually wrote about, because some of the books are released for many years already and others are quite new, so why not doing a short summary? My first book was I, Merita, and it was published already in 2015 in autumn. Back then under the name Make It Happen, but then I, you know, changed the name once again because, you know, I, Merita is like, you know, it's a bit my artist story and describing how I became an artist over the years. This book is almost like a diary, a real-time diary, because, you know, when I wrote it in 2015, I hadn't reached the peak of my career, but it was the first step when I realized now it's working. You know, my plan is working, and now it only takes some more time to, you know, develop, but the direction is right and everything is set right. But until then, you can imagine that it was a long and tough road to walk. And the story begins 3 years earlier, when there was one day when I said, I'm not going to postpone my dream anymore. I'm going all in, now or never. Now I'm going to really take it serious and really have a plan, not only a vision but a plan, and go in, all in. So I was always independent, I always worked as an entrepreneur, but the road from 2012 to 2015 was so tough, with hundreds and thousands of obstacles in the way and so many setbacks and so many, you know, difficulties to face. And I just wrote really honest about this. I mean, somehow, you know, brutal honest. A lot of people told me back then, you shouldn't publish it because, you know, it makes people think, oh my God, she is struggling or so. And of course I was struggling, because when you start off a career like this, not everybody favors you, and you have to find your own way, and you have to be strong against everything bad that's coming your way. That is the story, yeah, describing the years a little bit like a diary, with all the good times and bad times and everything in between. And when you have so many setbacks and people doubt you, you really have to be strong not to doubt yourself. And yeah, that is what I wrote down, and what I, you know, spoke for the audiobook. If you like that, it's quite a short story. I think it's about 70 pages. It's not so much to read, or it's not so long. But a lot of readers and listeners texted me that they found the book very, very encouraging to face a difficult time. And, you know, completely independent from what it is. It's not based on an artist career. I think it can be any challenge that you have to face in life. That sometimes we have some years when we really have to be very, very strong and fight through this and get through this, and then there will be light at the end of the tunnel, and it's all worth it. I think that is the message, that if you really want something, just go all in, or don't go at all. I hope that the background noise is not too disturbing here. Of course, this is a public beach, I'm not alone here, and you know, the kids are playing in the sea. I think that's normal, yeah, that's completely fine on such a beautiful day. So just a few meters from the last spot, but I think it's a bit quieter here, and it's just nicer to talk to you. The second book, an audiobook, is Music in Our Life, our team project of Ralph and I. And you know, there was no concept or no strategy. We just realized that we really often talk about the impact that music had on us, you know, personally, individually, throughout all the years. And Ralph and I grew up in a different decade, because Ralph is a bit older than I, and so he grew up with music in the 60s when he was a child, in the 70s when he was a teenager, and I was a child in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. So we can cover all these 4 decades and give some impressions, of course, of the current situation in the music industry. And it was like a walk down memory lane in terms of the spirit and the zeitgeist, you know. Zeitgeist is an English word too, right? As I only know it as a German word. The zeitgeist of the decade, you know. The zeitgeist of the 70s, of the 80s especially, which were both very, very strong decades for music, or for the importance of music and popularity of music. And yeah, so we go back, and it was, you know, kind of a reflection for ourselves, but also, I think, funny. I think this is so far the funniest book, because we share a lot of moments in our life when music played a very important role, and sometimes it was absolutely at the wrong place. But yeah, it made us realize, it made us see once again why we're still so passionate about music. And so I think this book is for everybody who has a passion for music, and probably you grew up in the 70s or in the 80s, and you will remember the spirit of the time and the zeitgeist. The music was everywhere, and the rock stars were these, you know, bad guys, bad boys, and the image was very important, and everything around. The whole book is like more or less like a dialogue that we go through all the years, and Ralph tells a story that happened in his life and I tell a story that happened to me, and I think we laughed a lot during writing, and those people who already read it confirmed that it is a funny read. So yeah, or listen, because we have an audiobook too, brand new. Then there is of course Langeoog Moments. If you follow this channel for some time, you know that I love Langeoog, the tiny little island in the North Sea, since I'm 11 years old. It's always my go-to place, always my home away from home. And somehow I would even say that this place has shaped me in a way, or shaped my life, because this place played a role at any stage in my life, and you know, until today. And it's a look back to all the times I spent there, and also a little bit the zeitgeist, but it's of course pretty much related to this place and this wonderful, unique nature that, if you have seen one of my recent vlogs here from this summer about Langeoog, you know what I mean when I talk about the nature there. And that is such a rare place in our, you know, world today. It's such a contrast to our normal life nowadays, you know, with a lot of construction work and buildings and a lot of infrastructure that has its advantage too, of course. I don't want to doubt that, but sometimes I just feel like this, you know, wild and pure nature is the best place to be happy. Yeah, that's probably describes my love for Langeoog best. And of course, you know, all my books have at some point a biographical aspect, because I don't think I could easily write a fiction like a novel or so, that I just, you know, build the story in my head, which is not related at all to something real that happened. But I try to always find a balance. Not, you know, it's not always a full biography. It's just spiced up with some anecdotes and some stories of my life that make you probably laugh or make you get me to know better. Most times I spent there was for holidays. Sometimes later on, when I was an adult already, I went there for work too, or I even married there. Ralph and I married on Langeoog Island. Yeah, this place owns my heart. The Langeoog book is probably a good read for when you are on holidays, wherever you are, a good read or a good listen, because it's, you know, just light and positive, very positive, and you know, nothing heavy no heavy topic to deal with or to reflect. And probably you have a place in your life that has the same meaning for you, and that you go back to all your life. If you sum it up, what you experienced in this one place, it can be really a lot, and it can be really impactful in your life, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's why I did Langeoog Moments. That was a wonderful time writing it. So, and then last but not least, Horses at Home. You might wonder why I published this one. You know, I've been a horse girl all my life. I went to an equestrian club when I was 10 or 11 years old. I started, and I always loved animals in general, but horses the most. And then I learned riding and did some competitions when I was a young teenager. Then we moved away from Düsseldorf to a little village in northern Germany, and there my family owned 2 horses, 2 and later 3, who lived, yeah, with us. They had their stable and their meadows and everything on our property. So it was like a little farm. And that is how I experienced horse husbandry, you know, on your own property. That is what the book is about. The book is more supposed to give knowledge to people about that, and I just share my experience from the first thought of, would this be a dream for me to, you know, have my horses on my own property so that, you know, I care for them 24/7, and that at some point we are a family, yeah, with all the work that comes with it and all the costs, of course, and finding such a property and the real estate market for it in Germany. This book is the only book that was supposed to be written especially for the German market and in German language, but then of course I translated it because I do everything in English here. That's why it's also available in English. And I know that I have some equestrian followers who are not from Germany, so maybe, yeah, I thought English is just always better for all of us, because usually we understand. And of course, I mean, this was somehow a dream that was realized when I was even very young, when I still went to school. And then our family decided to have horses at home, and we built the stable, and I was very concerned about the animal welfare, which is always my priority number one when it comes to anything equestrian and in horses and horse husbandry, so that you really have to know what they need from their, you know, nature of being. And so of course they went to the meadows every day, and they had a lot of spare time, so to say. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it was an experience that had such a long-lasting impact that I want to have this again. I don't know if I already talked about this, but I think in one video I talked about this. But to live again on a, you know, little, you know, farm, even though I'm not a farmer, but to have horses with us at home, but also, you know, care for them and muck out and and brush them and everything, you know. It's a lot of work then, and it requires a lot of time, and that is also an aspect that I describe in detail in the book, because a lot of people probably underestimate the amount of time that you need and the flexibility you need to have from your, for example, from your work, but once you manage everything, it is, to me, it's a perfect life, and that's what I wanted to share with the book. So, and not to forget, the books are all available on my web shop, and exclusively on my web shop. Some of you know that for some time I've worked with Amazon, but I wasn't really happy with the quality of the, you know, physical book, since I always want to deliver the best customer service in the world and the best quality, and I want you to be happy. If you purchase something from me, I want you to be super happy with it, and that's why I switched, because we live in 2023 and I think it's time to go digital with the ebook edition and also the audiobook. Both items are available for download, and that means if you purchase them right after payment, you can download them and start reading or start listening as long as you want, as often as you want. Once you bought it, it's yours, and you can read it whenever you want, in 10 years, in 20 years. You just have to save the file on your devices, and yeah, I wanted to share this once because I was like, okay, the books are published, but I've never talked about this on YouTube. It's probably not the best business. I'm gonna change that. I will enjoy this wonderful place here in Rügen Island and this beautiful beach a little bit more, and walk down in this direction, as you can see. Behind that, can you spot the beach there? Yeah, this would be perfect too. I could sit here for a whole day. But I want to explore a little bit more, so I have to leave this place. So my loves, and with these last scenes from here, I enjoyed the last hour before departure. Oh, this island is out of this world, honestly. And I can't wait to come back here, maybe next year or in winter. We will see. But I hope you liked this video, and if you want to, of course, subscribe to my channel or check into my website. Maybe you find something that brightens your day a little bit. And yeah, I hope to see you next time, and have a good time until then. Bye!